Good day. So today we're going to conclude chapter 32 on circular flow of income. So the last class was about the simple economy where income, expenditure and output must be equal and identical. So that brings us to this. So for the circular flow of income, today we're going to talk about injections and withdrawals. But before we go into injections and withdrawals, we quickly have to come back to talking about that simple economy, which we said it is not real, it is a theoretical model, it is not realistic. Why did we say it's not realistic? We said it is not realistic because of interconnectedness between economies, because there's globalization. So we have to depend on others. So there's specialization. Some countries will concentrate on one aspect of production, other countries will concentrate on another aspect of production. So what we cannot produce in economy A, we can get it from economy B. What economy cannot get, we can get it from economy C. So there's interconnectedness. So there's interdependence within economies. As a result of that, the simple circular flow of economy is not realistic. So how can it become realistic? That brings us to injections and withdrawals. But before we go into injections and withdrawals, I wrote, in a simple economy, O must be E must be Y, which means this sign is not just equals to. This sign means that output must be equal and identical to expenditure. Expenditure must be equal and identical to income. So they have to be equal, not just equal, they have to be identical. That's why we have this sign. That's about that. However, to make this model more realistic, there's need to add injections and withdrawals. This model is not realistic because of interconnectedness between economies. So we want to make this model to be realistic. So to make this model to be realistic, then there should be injections and withdrawals. So we're going to start with injections. What do we call injections? I wrote, an injection is the spending that doesn't come from the households. There are 3 injections. So, in the simple economy, in the simple circular flow of income, the spendings comes from households. But here, the spendings do not come from the household. So that means it is injection. It's coming from other sources like investment, government spending on exports. Here, it is not from household. Because this spending does not come from household, it means it is injection. So we have investment, we have government spending, we have export. So we're going to start with investment. What is investment? Investment represents spending by firms on new capital equipment such as factories, offices, and machinery. That is investment, which is not a spending from the households. Then we have government spending, which represents government spending on infrastructure, government spending on parastatals and their agencies. It is also not from the household. Then we have exports, which means spending by foreigners on goods and services produced in our economy. So this spending, there's injection here, but it's not from the household. It is from foreign businesses or foreign customers buying our products. That is export. So export, government spending and investment are all injections. And they are injections because these spendings do not come from the households. Then we go to withdrawals. Why do we call it withdrawals? We call it withdrawals because this spending does not come from the household to the businesses. So here I got, these are spendings that does not flow back from the households to firms. Normally in the circular flow, in the simple circular flow, households will have income or rent, wages, salaries, profits, and income. So all these things are spent back to the firms. But here they are not spent back to the firms. Rather, they become savings, taxes, or spent on importation. So we get the point here. The withdrawals here are spendings that does not come from the household. So here, these spendings come from savings. So instead of the household to spend to firms, they do not spend to firms. Rather, they start saving, they pay their taxes, and they start importing. That is what withdrawals is about. So what is saving? Saving represents money that was not spent by households. So instead of you spending, you start saving. That is what it represents. Tax. What is a tax? Taxes are levied, paid by individuals or firms for the production or consumption of goods and services. So this is not from households. So households are paying this, firms are paying this, but they are not paying back to the firms. Imports. Imports represent goods that are purchased by households and firms from abroad. They are buying from foreign businesses. Note, in equilibrium, where there is no tendency to change, injection must equal withdrawal. So that means in an open economy, because this becomes an open economy, in an open economy, injections must equal to withdrawals. And when this happens, it means that our output, our income, and expenditure flowing around the circular flow remain the same. So when injections are greater, national income must rise to reflect the greater spending. So because we said they must be equal, it means in any situation, maybe injections, whereby, like for example, injection is greater than withdrawals. If injection is greater than withdrawals, it means more spending than withdrawals. So what would the economy do? The economy must reflect it by greater spending. So if injections such as investment, government spending and exports increases than withdrawals, which is spending from households to firms that is not coming back to the firms, that means this is more than this. Investment, government spending and export is more than savings, taxes and imports. Government must ensure, or the economic agents must ensure that there's greater spending to reflect investment, greater spending to reflect government spending, greater spending to reflect export. That is what they meant here. That when injections are greater, national income must rise to reflect the greater spending. So here, there's investment on all these things, and it must reflect with output. So if this is greater than withdrawals, it means spending is more than savings. If spendings are more than savings, then output must increase to ensure that it reflects this spending, because this spending must go to the output. So if spending is greater than withdrawals, output must increase to reflect the spending. That is the point there. And the second one, equally, when injections are less than withdrawals, spending will fall. So if withdrawals becomes higher or greater than injection, it means people save more than spending, people do pay taxes more than government spending, imports are more than exports. This will bring about fall in spending, because savings means you are not spending, taxes means you have less disposable income, imports means you don't buy domestic products, rather you're buying from foreign businesses. So this must reflect by withdrawals or fall in spending. So get the note here. If injection is greater than withdrawals, output must rise to reflect the spending. If withdrawals is greater than injection, spending must fall to reflect the savings. It means people are not spending anymore, disposable income has fallen, people are not buying domestic products, rather they are buying foreign products. So all this would reduce spending within the economy. That is what it means. So for withdrawals and injections, they must be equal at any point in time. So this takes us to the graph of the circular flow. So here, the household and firms. Here, the household and firms are the simple circular flow. But with withdrawals and injection, it brings about an open economy. So for injection, we have investment, government spending, and export. For withdrawals, we have savings, taxes, and imports. All these must equal to this. That is why it is an open economy. So if these are equal, it means the flow of income within this economy will remain the same. So that ends chapter 32. Thank you.